And finally, from the Czech Republic, the capital city of Prague has officially had enough of wild, beer-fueled bar crawls. While the Czech capital remains a beer lover's paradise, it now wants to attract more cultured tourists. Where pints are still cheaper than water, city officials are hoping to trade in rowdy stag parties for more refined visitors. Our final report looks at Prague's clampdown on its beer taps.
In a land where beer is practically on tap and cheaper than water, imagine the outcry when officials decide to put a cap on the fun. That's right. The city of Prague, which is home to some of the rowdiest stag parties on the continent, has decided to pump the brakes on nighttime bar hopping. And not everyone is raising a glass to this news. Prague City Council announced a ban on guided pub crawls between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And all this in the name of attracting what they call more cultured tourists. Because of course, what every stag party dreams of is discussing Renaissance art over a delicate sip of Chardonnay. The city's deputy mayor firmly stated that it's time to part ways with the type of tourists who see the city as nothing more than a giant beer hall. For nearly 30 years, the Czech Republic has held the title for the world's highest beer consumption per capita, with each citizen knocking back an impressive 128 litres in 2023. Beer here is so cheap that in some spots it's cheaper than bottled water. But that's not the kind of distinction that city officials are after any longer. Jiří Pospíšil, another deputy mayor, expressed a desire for tourists with bigger wallets and presumably a little more self-control. It's not that Prague wants to shun its beer-loving visitors completely, they just prefer those who can enjoy a pint without turning the historic centre into a frat house. Unsurprisingly, the locals and businessmen have mixed reactions. Some members of the Czech Association of Hotels and Restaurants welcomed the move, and one member said it will bring peace to residents and fellow tourists. But others worried that this will impact the city's tourism. But fear not. Beer lovers won't be banned from pubs entirely, just from those wild roving crawls that leave everyone wondering where their shoes went. Prague is not the only European city putting its foot down. Amsterdam has already launched its Stay Away campaign aimed at young Brits eager to let loose. And Venice is limiting tour groups and silencing loudspeakers. Barcelona plans to ban apartment rentals to tourists by 2028. It seems Europe is collectively telling rowdy tourists, have your beer, but maybe leave the chaotic side of yourself at home. So the next time you plan a night out in Prague, maybe trade the pub crawl for a nice evening stroll. You'll thank yourself when your shoes are still on your feet the next morning.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.